Good evening, I'm Kelly Wright, and this is America's Hope. Tonight we're going to focus on education. Education in terms of what our children see on television, but also education in terms of people with disabilities and how they're viewed in media circles, especially when they aspire to perform in those entertainment and informational venues like television and movies. We're going to talk to a wonderful person who's coming up. She's Emmy nominated. And then we'll be talking to the creators of a wonderful children's program that you have to start watching. It's called A Wonderful Day with Mabel McClay. That's coming up. Let's get started. So welcome to the program America's Hope, and my guest now is Pavar Snipe. Now Pavar is soaring with the dragons in the DreamWorks animated series, and Pavar was cast in the DreamWorks animated series, Dragons: The Nine Realms. Her character, Angela, is a super tough former military pilot, and she's a cool mom and disabled veteran in this role as she navigates her family in a new world filled with excitement, with danger, oh, and by the way, dragons. And if the voice of her son, D'Angelo, is familiar, it's because that's Marcus Scribner from Blackish. So a new legend begins, and the legend here sitting right now in real life is Pavar Snipe. Pavar, so good to have you on the program.
Kelly, it's so awesome to be here. It's just, this is a dream come true to sit here with you.
Wow, well, thank you.
Yeah,
welcome
great.
to America's Hope. And I should say, in full disclosure, Pavar is someone that I've known for more than 30 years.
Just a little bit, maybe a decade or two.
A decade or two. So, you know, tell me about this role that you got cast in, doing the voiceover of this tough mom, this military veteran, and a disabled woman at the same time.
You know, it's truly an honor to be able to play this role. Angela Baker on Dragons: The Nine Realms, like we already said, is, you know, a military veteran. She's a mom. She's like this loving heart of the show, which is what I love about her. She comes in with so much warmth anytime she's in a particular scene. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to play somebody and have this kind of representation, because as a Black woman with a disability, you don't even see yourself on TV as it is. It's very rare. But to see a character like that in animation is it just doesn't even happen.
I really thought this place was gonna be cool.
Honey, this place is different, yes, but people are people. You let down your guard and you'll find some way to connect. You always do.
And when I think about that character and what it means for maybe a little disabled girl who's watching, you know, a disabled veteran, the child of a disabled veteran, to see that representation on screen it's beautiful.
So in some of the exchanges that you have with the characters in there, for example, your son, D'Angelo, played by Marcus Scribner of Blackish, what can people learn from that?
Oh man, what you can learn is that you can have a woman who is a mom who does all the things. You know, moms do all the things, but you have a character who is tough, right? She's tough with her son, and she's very protective of her son, especially because of the world that they're in this particular series. They're in like kind of like a biodome type of situation. And so she's very protective of him, and she doesn't even know that he's mixed in with these dragons and doing all these crazy things when she's not with him. But what you can really learn is just the joy of family and the joy of friendship. She has a strong friendship with her son, along with being a loving mom, and also the love and support that she has with and for her husband is adorable. It's just such a sweet thing to watch.
So wait, let's unpack that. So you got a family unit.
Yes.
Husband, mother, wife, this is great, and a child. So you have the whole family, and like you said, it really brings out a response of having joy and hope and inspiration, even in the midst of an animated series. But let's jump off the page and talk about real life for Pavar. You are someone who's out there so gifted, so talented, and yet you've had to buck the trend. You've had to teach Hollywood and media, wherever you've worked, to respect and appreciate people with disabilities. Talk to me about that from the personal story of Pavar Snipe.
You know, Kelly, this has been an amazing journey for me. When you grow up with a lifelong disability, I've had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 11 years old. It's very much like a love-hate relationship with your illness and with your identity. And for me, trying to find who am I, what do I want to do, how can I be myself, make a difference, and feel fulfilled in my career, right? And so for the longest time, I was a radio personality, and I did hip hop radio for a very long time, and that's an off-camera position. And after that, I became a creative producer in TV news, and I did that for a long time. And since 2015, when I decided I was going to go on this journey to pursue acting and comedy and writing, and I started to get on stage, and I became a stand-up comedian, and I became a sketch performer, and I became somebody who creates digital content online, and I've gained these followers who have watched my career progress. And it's just me getting to the point where I started to feel like, you know what, I can be the person on stage. I can be the person that's seen. I can be somebody who writes and directs and creates their own characters. And each one of those characters has a disability, but how does that disability play out and show in these particular characters every time? It's something that it wasn't easy to get there, because we all have our own things that we're self-conscious of, whether or not it's something that's showing or it's not showing. We all have a thing, right? But for me to get to the point where I was just like, that thing does not matter, because there is a higher purpose for me, and I need to understand that God gave me this thing for a reason. God gave me this thing for a reason. And once I embraced that and realized that it doesn't even matter, because I'm supposed to be doing these things, and I'm supposed to show people with and without disabilities that it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
It doesn't matter. You can do it. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Just do it anyway.
That is such an amazing and inspiring outlook for anyone to grab hold of and possess. And because there are also people out there disabled in their mental acuity, or just in their self-esteem, their self-worth. You had to break through all of that because of the visible signs of a disability.
Yes.
So what would you say to those who are walking around thinking, nobody knows the trouble I've seen, life is bad, I'm never going to be able to make it, and they don't even have a quote unquote a physical disability. What would you say to people who are having pity parties?
You know what? Today does not define your tomorrow.
Oh, come on, say that again.
Today does not define your tomorrow. It's okay. It's okay to have a pity party. You can have your pity party, and you can have a moment where you're just like, this has happened to me, this has happened to me, this has happened to me, this person has done this to me. Yes, those things happened, and it's okay to accept them. But the thing is, what do you do next? What do you do next? You can move forward from it. You can find ways to cope. You can find people to talk to. There's so many different outlets for you to grab onto, so you can move past that thing and find ways to heal. Like I'm teaching a class at the New School right now, and it's a comedy class, and the class is called Funny Haha, The Art of Comedy. And the goal of this course is not to teach people how to be funny. That's not what it is. It's to teach people how they can use comedy in order to heal. You can have healing even through your comedy. It's to teach people how comedy can lift you up. It can lift other people up. And a lot of comedy, honestly, comes from pain. Yeah. A lot of comedy comes from pain. A lot of comedy comes from tragedy. You think about your favorite comedians, like a Richard Pryor, a John Mulaney, who's hot right now, and they talk about their addiction. They talk about the pain that they've been through. But they find a way to bring that on stage and talk about it in a way that's relatable to the audience. I may have never had a drug addiction. I may have never had, like Richard Pryor, I wasn't born with a mother in a whorehouse. You know what I mean? But there are certain circumstances in his life that I can relate to. There are circumstances that that might have been painful to me that I can now, that there's distance, I can make a joke out of it. So really it's just about remembering that today does not define your tomorrow. Time and distance can mean anything, everything when you're healing.
I'm talking to Pavar. We're going to take a slight break, and when we come back, we'll talk to more about Pavar and her goals, her aspirations, because I can tell that you're not done yet.
Oh,
You have
no.
a lot more
Oh,
you
no.
want
So
to
much more.
accomplish.
So much more.
Okay, we're coming back with much more of Pavar Snipe in just a moment. Welcome back to America's Hope. I'm talking to Pavar Snipe, literally a good friend of mine, and we lost contact for many, many years. But you were still on your path, as was I, in media, and I'm so proud of you. Can I just say that?
Thank you.
I'm proud of you and all that you have accomplished. And as I was stating earlier, you're not done yet. I can see in your eyes,
Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice, and I know it's in your heart to aspire to do bigger and better things.
Yeah.
What are some of those things you have in mind to do?
Oh man, Kelly, I am so thankful for the opportunity that I've had to begin telling stories about disabled people who are doing things that are amazing. These stories are about people who are above and beyond what anybody can accomplish. You know, often in the disability world, in the community, we hear people who tell, oh, you're so amazing, look at you, you're so inspiring. And although it is a compliment, and it's meant to be a compliment to be told that you're inspiring, you want to get those compliments when you've done something that is worthy of so. You don't want to hear someone just tell you that you're amazing because you're walking down the street, living life, right? You don't want to hear you're amazing and inspiring because you're walking down a flight of stairs and you're just out being a normal person. But a blind woman who is a fashion designer and who's created her own NFT wedding dress and has been on the cover or has been in Essence magazine, that's amazing. You know what I mean? You have a Palestinian woman who has cerebral palsy who came from the Middle East, who went on to not only become an accomplished stand-up comedian, started a national Arab American comedy festival, and went on to be on General Hospital, like Miss Zaid, which was her goal in life, and went on to General Hospital. You know, you have the Real Abilities Film Festival that happens every year in New York City, founded by someone with a disability, and then it goes on and it highlights the stories of disabled people around the world. Those are the stories that I want to tell. It's not about giving a gold star, right? Nobody wants a gold star for living, but it is about showing that people with disabilities are doing amazing things for themselves and for their communities, and we need to know about it. It's also about finding stories where I'm showing people that there are resources for them, you know, because a lot of times you don't know what you can do until you see it.
It's true.
You don't know what you can do until you see it. Like I just did a story about Matthew Whitaker, who is an amazing 22-year-old blind jazz performer. He is phenomenal. He is literally a phenomenon. He went to a blind music school in New York City and recently went back to his school and had this huge fundraiser.
Wow.
So he could continue to give back to the school that helped lift him up to become who he is today.
That ability to give back.
Yep.
And that's who you are. And for another episode of full disclosure, I watched you as a colleague of mine.
Yeah.
We used to work together in the Norfolk, Virginia market. Beautiful Hampton Roads, for those who don't know that lovely place, go to Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, one of the largest naval bases in the world. But the community itself, the community has a big heart.
Huge.
And you and I worked at Wavy TV, and we had a great working relationship together, along with the other people that worked together with us. It was just like a family.
It really was. Still some of my closest friends in life I have as a result of working there. And that was my first job.
Yeah.
That was my first job out of school. I was working in a little supply closet. When I first started, I was literally working out of a supply closet, producing news for the local news station, the local news radio station, and being like a liaison between the two. And again, I had not even dreamed of this. Yeah. This was not even a thought.
You know, and I watched you, and you were always so pleasant to work with. And then you went on to go into radio and worked at the #1 radio morning show there. Like you said, in hip hop.
The Buddha Brothers morning show.
The Buddha Brothers, yeah. We'll give a shout out to them as well.
Yeah.
And you just kept excelling and excelling, excelling. You know, what was your drive? What was your motivation?
Oh man, that is a really good question. I think for one thing, I have wonderful parents who never told me that I can't, right? And so when you have a family that is supportive of you, and they don't tell you what you can't do, you proceed. And I was always just ready to go to the next thing. I was always ready to go to the next thing. I was never afraid to try. That's another important thing.
Never afraid to try.
Don't be afraid to try. Because if you fail, oh well, so what? So what? All right, and try something else. Even when I, at the age of 38 years old, quit my job in Virginia to pursue a comedy career, I was just like, I have to try, because if I don't try, then I will have failed.
I can't believe you said you were 38 years old when you decided to leave Norfolk, Virginia.
38.
Because, when I look at you, I keep thinking, this little Pavar was my friend, and I forgot that you grew up.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've grown up well, my friend. And so now, let me make sure I make this abundantly clear. You are Emmy nominated.
Emmy nominated, yeah.
Pavar Snipe. Congratulations to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is not easy to accomplish. Emmy nominated. And I believe that with you doing all of these different kinds of shows and programs, not that you're seeking an Emmy, but I think the industry is going to recognize all the great work you're doing, and you'll get that Emmy. So before we went on, we were talking about disabled veterans.
Yes.
And you were mentioning how there are many disabled veterans that you met in Norfolk, Virginia. And
Yeah.
as I just mentioned, Norfolk is not only home to the United States Navy with a large naval base. The SEALs train there. There's a Top Gun school there, but there's also the United States Army. There's
Air
the
Force,
Marines. There's
yeah.
the Air Force. There's the Coast Guard. All of them are
Yep.
represented in that area. So talk to me about the disabled veterans that you met and how we should appreciate their service.
Man, I'm going to try to talk about this and not get a little teary right now. I have a group of amazing girlfriends who are disabled veterans, disabled Black women veterans who worked so hard, worked so hard for their country, and worked so hard when they were in the military, and had injuries as a result and had to retire out. Girlfriends who worked with aircraft and mechanics and all kinds of things and they have lifelong issues as a result. They're thankful for the work that they had, and I'm very thankful for their service. And they have a sisterhood amongst each other that's just beautiful. They have their own sorority that they have where they give back to their communities still and support each other, and it's just a beautiful thing. And they're just so smart and so kind and so generous. And so for me to be able to voice a character like Angela, even though I am not a military person, to be able to voice a character like that and represent for them is something that makes it even more special for me.
That's awesome. So this show's called America's Hope. I've got to ask you in my final question. First of all, you've got to come back whenever you have a new project, or just say, hey, Kelly, I just want to come by and say hi.
I'd love to.
You got to do that. But what is your hope for America?
Ooh, oh man. Right now we're in a crazy time. So first I have to do a world hope.
Yeah.
World hope, I just hope that we can really learn to love and support and live in peace amongst each other and let people live, first of all, and have compassion and remember that we're all human and we share this space of earth. We share this space of earth together. So that's the first hope. Second hope for America goes along with my mission, which is to change the dynamic and to change the narrative when it comes to how disabled people are portrayed and live their lives in our country. My hope is for there to be marriage equality for people with disabilities. People with disabilities cannot get married without losing their benefits, and that's wrong. That's insane. It doesn't even make any sense. Equal employment, equity for people with disabilities, and for people with disabilities to be able to go out and enjoy their life and not have to worry about how they're going to get there,
Right.
if there are going to be stairs, if there's going to be an elevator, if they're going to get there and the elevator's not going to work. Transportation to get where they need to be whenever they need to be there in New York City, Los Angeles, wherever you are, fair transportation, fair employment, and equal opportunity to be gainfully employed and be in positions of leadership. And that's whether you're on camera, off camera, in finance, law, whatever it is that you want to do, for everyone with disabilities to have the same opportunities to excel and be joyful.
Pavar,
There you
thank
go.
you. Thank you. I got to tell you, much love to you. I love you.
Love you too, Kelly.
So proud of you. And thank you for having the kind of hope that speaks to people who are living in hopeless situations. Appreciate you so much. Emmy nominated Pavar Snipe, a good friend.
Out of that supply closet. Thank you, Lord. Out of the closet. Out of the supply closet.
I love her, and America love her. Make sure you check out her series. And what's the series called again?
It's called Dragons, the Nine Realms, and it is on Hulu and Peacock.
So proud of you. We're back with more after this.